They say good things come to those who wait, but great things come to those who appreciate. Today, I want to share a massive revelation that I had this morning in my meditation. And no, it is not 100% about appreciation and gratitude, but it's 50% about that, and that does come into play. So, what I just shared was the beginning of a poem that I started writing and haven't finished. So, one day I'll finish that and post it. But I'm so excited to share what came up for me this morning because in the last few hours that I've been thinking about it, it's been just so insightful and helpful for me, and I hope it can be helpful for you as well. So before we get into that, of course, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notified when my videos pop up. If you enjoy this video, please share it, and I would love for you to comment. I literally do like a little happy dance every time someone comments on one of my videos. So, say something nice if you could, because the not nice comments don't give me quite the same reaction, but I still get excited to see that anyone's watching or enjoying. So anyway, if you can do all of that, I would very much appreciate it. All right, so the past week or so, I've been having a tough time mentally in terms of just feeling a little bummed about life in general and finding it hard to stay motivated and stay focused, even though my New Year's intention, my big major intention for the year 2025 is to consistently trust that everything in life is working for my greater good, for my benefit. And for the first week or so, I was really on it. I was good at getting myself back into that state and really trusting. But for the past few days, I've been having some more lapses in faith. And this morning in my meditation, I just started thinking about the kind of life I want and certain things that I want in my life. And I won't bore you with all the details. If you want to hear the specifics, please comment and I will perhaps post another video. But this is not about me. This is about what I've learned and how it can potentially help you. But in a nutshell, what happened is I was thinking about these things that I want for my life and how if I don't get them, I kind of don't know if I want to live. Like, is life worth living if I don't ultimately get the things in life that I want? And I know that sounds really dramatic, but I'm talking about deep, deep desires that I've had since I was a child. Oh my gosh, I'm like crying even talking about it. So I just was in this energy of like I could barely hold it together. I was like, how can I go on? How can I possibly go on if I reach a certain age and it hasn't happened? Like I thought all of these things would have already happened by the time I'm my age now. And then it was almost like God like slapped me in the face during my meditation, and the message that I got was, why should I give to someone who may not even stick out this game of life? Because what if you get the thing and it doesn't fulfill your heart's desires to the extent that you're expecting? Will you just give up then? Will you just call it quits? And no, I would never commit suicide. And if you do have those feelings, I highly encourage you to reach out to the suicide prevention hotline, call a friend, send me an email, whatever it is that will help you feel better. But I think it's fairly common for people to have those thoughts and feelings. And I know for as much meditation and spirituality and positive mindset work that I do, I certainly have those moments where I feel like, what is the point of life? It's just so hard to keep going when things don't feel like they're really working out. So anyway, I was feeling that way, and what came to my mind was the analogy of, like, imagine you're an employer at a company and you have an employee who is constantly complaining about the job and constantly threatening to quit. Would you promote them? Probably not. Maybe you would promote them to get them to stay if you really valued them that much. You're like, okay, here, take this promotion. But it wouldn't be coming from a place of, we really value you, we really think you're good at this. It would be like an appeasement. And the same is true in life. We can get what we want. You want to get married, you can find someone. May not be your soulmate, but you can probably find someone who will agree to marry you. If you want to make a bunch of money, you can find a job that maybe you don't love, but you work a certain number of hours, you'll get a certain amount of money. But it won't leave you happy or fulfilled. So we can generally get what we want by force. You can get the promotion by threatening to quit the job. But it's very different from being given something of your own merit. And so it's not going to be as easy, it's not going to feel as good, it's not going to flow as well, and it won't feel aligned. So two main messages that I took from this and that I really wanted to share today. And side note, I just want to say, because right now as I'm talking, it's feeling a little scattered. I'm sharing this right now without having prepared any notes because historically I've just had this habit of coming up with a thought and thinking like, oh, this is so great, I really got to share this, and I'll do it later. And so I just wait and it just sits on a Google Doc. I've got tons of things written on Google Docs that I've never made into a video. And so I'm trying to get over that. And when I feel inspired, just do it. Even though my hair is still a little wet, I didn't feel like putting on makeup today, I didn't feel like getting dressed and doing all this stuff, but here I am because I feel like it's important. And the reason I'm sharing that is not to point out how scattered I am, but to say, if you feel inspired, I've been finding it so helpful to just do it in the moment. Don't overthink it. Just take action. Go do it when it's fresh. And the more you do that, the easier it will become to do without preparation. I digress. The two main messages that I took away from this. The one is that for the universe to give me what I want, or to get the promotion at your job, to use that same analogy, you have to prove that you can handle it. We wouldn't give $1 billion to a 5-year-old because we know that a 5-year-old wouldn't know how to handle it. They wouldn't know how to spend it. And so we have to show the universe and God that we can handle it. Why would the universe reward me with all of my dreams if I'm sitting here saying, I can't even handle this little life that I have? I'm thinking about I'm wishing that I weren't alive because I'm so bogged down in the stresses of my little life, and now I'm asking for a really big life. What in that mentality of me complaining and being sad and depressed and all this stuff, what about that would indicate to the universe that I'm ready for this big life that I consciously say that I want? And I know I could handle it, but could I? I don't know. I mean, yes, but we've got to show it. We've got to prove that. And if we're not ready to handle it, then what probably would happen would be like the people who win the lottery and blow it all in a few weeks and then go bankrupt and then are worse off than where they started. They got something they weren't ready for. So again, we can sometimes get things by force before we're ready for them. We can find a way, but it doesn't mean we'll be fulfilled or happy or that it'll be sustainable. And as I've been thinking about this for the past few hours, I remembered hearing a practitioner of Kabbalah, the spiritual practice of Kabbalah, talking about how one of their teachings is not to pray for the thing you want, but to pray for the strength to be the vessel to handle it. Something like that. But you're basically asking God to give you strength so that instead of saying, make me a millionaire, you're saying, give me the strength it would take to navigate that much money, or to have a fulfilling soulmate love, or to be a parent, or whatever it is. And of course, again, people get things before they're ready all the time. And I think there's a beauty in learning as we go as well. So this is not to say we have to have it all figured out to get anything in life we want. But I think it's so important, the mindset and the mentality we have. And so, again, mentally, if I'm sitting here saying, like, oh my gosh, I'm just ready to give up, why? What about that would indicate that I could handle all these other things? And really, there is no reason that we can't have all the things we want. Usually, if we have that desire, they say it's because we're meant for it, and there are just certain things we have to clear out and get out of our own way to achieve them. If you're having trouble with that, and if me saying there's nothing stopping us from getting what we want, if that triggers something in you or brings up something in you that gives you like, oh, I don't know, then I encourage you to check out the video I made about overcoming limiting beliefs. I will put that here on the screen and I will put it in the video description as well. It's a super powerful exercise that I just discovered yesterday, actually, but it's been so illuminating and helpful, and it will really help you dig deep into your subconscious to see what blocks you might have that you haven't yet noticed. And that will help us get to the point where we feel worthy and prepared enough to show the universe that we are ready for whatever it is we're asking for. So to make this practical, one thing you can do is think about the thing you really want. So let's say you want to live in a mansion, and then figure out how to prove to the universe and yourself that you're ready for that. So for example, are you treating your current home like a mansion? Are you capable of treating a home with dignity and respect and taking care of the home? Or if you want a lot of money, what is your current relationship to money? Are you respectful towards money? Do you save money well? Or would you get a bunch of money and just blow it as soon as you got it? These are questions I've been asking myself for the last few hours of like, oh, well, I say that I want this, but can I handle that? And I think it's a really helpful exercise because not only from a spiritual perspective are we showing the creator that yes, we can handle it. Look, I have $1,000 in my bank account. Here's how wisely I used it. You send me $1 million, I will be just as wise. But also, I believe that by taking those steps and reframing our relationship to money or to our home or to whatever it is that leads us towards the thing we want, then we'll actually become the type of person who does the type of things, engages in the behaviors, and takes action to acquire the thing that we want or to reach the goal or the dream or the thing we want. So you know how they always say, like, become the person you want to be, embody the experience. This is basically the same thing, but for whatever reason, it just hit me totally differently this morning. And when I realized, like, oh, everyone said this a million times, I almost didn't record this video. But then again, it was like, if this hit me so strongly, maybe it'll resonate in a new way for someone listening. So that was all part one, the first thing that I learned, which is that we've got to show the world and ourselves really that we're ready and that we can handle it. And then the second thing that became very obvious to me when I was sitting there complaining of like, oh gosh, why aren't things working out? It's like, why should I be given more if I don't appreciate what I have? And I know that sounds so basic, but it is so true. And I advocate for gratitude all the time. I actually recently recorded a gratitude audio that I will also link and put in the video description that I encourage you to listen to morning and evening to get you in that state of gratitude. I advocate for that. I practice it, but I still forget it so often. And when I'm thinking about these things that I want that I don't have yet, it's so easy to forget how beautiful all the things I already have are. And so it's kind of like, I love to cook and I like to bake and I like to feed people. So if I bake cookies for someone and they're like, cool, thanks, then, I may or may not bake cookies for them again. But if I bake cookies for someone and they're like, oh my gosh, Trisha, what did you do? These are the best cookies I've ever had. These are delicious. I want more. You best believe I'm going to bake cookies for you every chance I get. And you can ask my friends. I literally do this to the people who tell me they love my brownies or whatever. I bake for them all the time. And the people that kind of have a so-so response, I don't go out of my way for them. And maybe they don't care because I didn't love them that much. But it just goes to show, and it just reminds me that when we appreciate something, we get a lot more of it. People like giving to people who appreciate what they're giving them. And it occurred to me that perhaps the universe works the same way. We will get more of anything when we appreciate what we have. And I'm not saying to do this with the goal of, well, if I just say thank you for my house, thank you for my family, then I'll get more. But to actually genuinely be content with what you have and to really genuinely appreciate what you have. Maybe you don't have $1 million, but if you have 1,000, that's more than some people. And I felt like God was kind of getting mad at me this morning because it's like, Trisha, you have so much going for you. I have so much going for me. There is no reason why I can't have all the things that I want. And maybe, I will be honest, some of my doubts and insecurities were coming up based on something an astrologer told me. So maybe it's written in the stars that I'm not going to get the things that I want. But regardless, I'm living and I can make the most of the experience and I can have fun and I can do the things that I am good at and that I enjoy and appreciate all the things I do have going for me. Or I could sit here and wallow about all the things that I don't. And I can take action to get the things that I want while having fun in the process, even if I never get them. Or again, I could just sit and wallow about the fact that I don't have the things that I want. And so it was super profound for me. And again, I know I've said this a million times, very fresh. That just came to me this morning. It's only 2 o'clock right now, 2 p.m. So I haven't had that much time to let this sit. And I know myself, and I know I'm going to need to put up a ton of reminders around my home to remind me, one, to be ready, to show that I can handle it, and to get ready, to prepare myself, to make sure that I can handle it, so that when I get all these blessings, I don't just lose them. And two, to be so grateful and appreciative for everything that I already have, and all of the talents and skills that I already have. And I encourage you to do the same thing. So if it's money you're wanting, focus on appreciating your ability to work. If you can work. If you can't work, then appreciate whatever it is that's providing you money to live on. And obviously I don't know everyone's situation, but if you have access to this video, I'm assuming you have some source of income or some money coming in. And if not, you at least have ears and you have a body. So start small, start with the basics, start with what you have. But for a lot of people, you can say, thank you for my ability to XYZ. So in my case, I'm so grateful that I have the ability and the comfort to get on camera and talk about something that's meaningful to me and that could potentially help people. I may not be making any money from it right now, but it's not to say that it's not possible. People make billions of dollars on YouTube all the time. Maybe not billions, but people make money on YouTube all the time. It is totally possible for me. And I have to prove that I'm prepared for that. And so in your own life, think of the thing that you really want. And if it's a relationship, think about the relationships in your life that you already have, that you appreciate, And you can think about what you can do to prepare yourself for a really special relationship. If you're tolerating things in other relationships that you wouldn't want in a long-term partnership, then maybe there's something to change there. If you're not actively forgiving people, actively practicing compassion for people, actively being generous and giving to people without sacrificing your own needs and boundaries, then maybe there's work to do there. And trust me when I say, with all of these examples, I'm talking to myself too. So it's not a you need to do this, it's a we. We all can constantly focus on growing, but also being appreciative and grateful for our ability to grow. And seriously, like, how grateful can we be for all the resources we have and the access to information that we have? If you want to improve your relationships, all you gotta do is type in YouTube relationship skills. If you want to make more money, there are so many resources out there. And so that's why I think it really comes down to our internal relationship to these parts of ourselves that matters. There's nothing stopping us from doing all the things we want to do. And again, please check out the video, Overcoming Your Limiting Beliefs, because that will help if you're not feeling like that's true. When I say there's nothing stopping us, I encourage you to check out that video. So all of this is to say, in my meditation, I was feeling super sad and just kind of like ready to throw in the towel, give up on life. If you're feeling that way, remind yourself, first of all, seek support if you need it. But second of all, remind yourself that you're living right now and you can make it a pleasant experience or you can make it not. And so start by being grateful for everything you already have, really appreciate it. And I know, again, that sounds so like oversaid, but it is so powerful when we actually take the time to do it. And remember, people who appreciate get more. We like to give to people who appreciate. You can get whatever you want by force. Someone could go buy their own cookies if I don't make them cookies, right? They can get the thing that they want without me having to provide it for them. But it feels a lot easier and better when it flows easily, when the universe gives us opportunities and synchronicities and, things that we want without us having to fight so hard for it. And we really have to prepare ourselves to get ready to receive it. And this is where I encourage you, and what I'm going to be doing myself, is take a really deep look. Get out the magnifying glass and take a really hard look at the things that you're doing and thinking and saying that may indicate that you're not ready yet for wild success. You're not ready yet for a bunch of money, or you're not ready yet for an active social life, or a fulfilling relationship, or a child, or a new home, or whatever it is that you're wanting. And if you're having trouble finding those blocks or figuring out how to prepare, I would, of course, love to help you through that. So please contact me or just comment on the video. And again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you appreciated it, but I really hope you enjoyed it and that you got something from it. If you did, please subscribe, share the video with someone who you think could benefit, like, comment if you have any feedback for me. I am still learning as I do this. Thank you from the bottom of my heart so much.